Listen, we'll get rolling anyway. How are we all doing? You're very welcome back. This is the James Hempton Show, and today I'm joined by a special guest, Mr. Aaron Travels. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
You're good, man. It's great to have you. I have to say, I've been following your page for quite a while, and you've done something a bit extraordinary recently, which kind of has put a lot of spotlight on you and gained a lot of attention and attraction. And that was your cycle down the Wild Atlantic Way, which took you, was it 52 days?
Thereabouts, we can say that. About 3 months in total. 2 months of cycling, 3 months overall.
Something else, man. You completed, was it 2,600 kilometers?
2,600, yeah.
It's something else, man. Where did the idea for that, where did that come from? Where did the idea to set out on that journey and try and accomplish something that, you know, no one else, I haven't seen anyone else. Did you get inspiration from somewhere else, or how did it come about?
No, it just, I wanted to see Ireland.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the West Coast. I've barely visited much of the West Coast.
Yeah.
So, what's the best way to see it? Well, we've got a Wild Atlantic Way.
Yeah.
And I'm out here to make content. I'm out here to make motivational and inspirational content.
Yes.
I'm out here to challenge myself every day to become better. So, how the hell are we going to see Ireland at the same time? Well, let's get a bicycle, let's get a tent, and let's cycle it.
Yeah, and no train at all involved.
No training. Haven't been on the bike for a big cycle for about 2 years before that.
Yeah.
Just grab the bike. Let's take it one day at a time. That's all we can do. If you can only go this far in one day, that's all you can do. Rest up, get at it again the next day.
Yeah, and roughly you were doing, was it 50 kilometers every day, more or less?
I can tell you, man.
Yeah.
Look, it was some days you might hit 100 the odd day.
Yeah.
Other days you might do 30. Depends on what's going on, what's the weather, what's happening, what you feeling. You want to chill out. Like I said, it was probably about 2 months of cycling.
Yeah.
So the 52 days comes from, if you do, it's 2,600 kilometers. So if you do, let's say 50 kilometers a day,
Yeah.
it should take 52 days, something like that.
Yeah,
52 days at 50k a day. So yeah, but it took me thereabouts about 2 months cycling, 3 months in total on the road, just from chilling and trying to enjoy myself too.
I love the accomplishment. But you had done something previously before, hadn't you? You had done cycles in other countries as well. So you had a bit of experience with being on the bike.
Yeah.
Because you cycled to Greece, is that right?
Yeah, I cycled to Greece. I got as far as the border because it was during the lockdown.
Yeah.
So
This is over the lockdown you done this?
yeah.
No way.
Yeah, man. That was the
How
inspiration.
did you get out of the country?
That's a good question, man. I think we were quite strict, but you could get to the UK. So what I did was I cycled to Dublin port, and I took a ferry to England.
Yeah.
England to ferry to Wales.
Yes.
Wales to England, and then England to France seemed to not be a big deal. I don't think England was taking it too seriously back then. France was all right with it. Made my way into Europe, and after that, people were like, "Was it not locked down?" I was like, "I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't listening to the news." I was like, "I hope not." But
You got away from all of it, man.
at the end of the day, I was out there in a tent. I was on my own. I was on my bike. You know, I couldn't have been more secluded. But that's what triggered it. It was crunch time. It was like, what the hell is happening in the world right now? You know what I mean? You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. I was like, you know, it's like living like it's your last day. You know, you could be dead tomorrow, they say, but also it's like, damn, like how, you know, we had all this freedom, but we didn't realize how beautiful it was. And now all of a sudden it's like the world is falling apart. I was like, damn, I really want, it just inspired me more to like go and enjoy yourself, but not just enjoy yourself, like build something. Because I have been traveling over the years, and that has been enjoyable. But I was like, if only I got some of this stuff on camera. If only I really like made the best use out of it.
Was that the difference, I suppose, with this journey now, is that you documented it?
No, I documented the entire Greece one as well. So I had the plan before I set out. I was like, right, this is it. It's like, it's time to be serious. I was like, let's make a page. Let it be. Obviously, I came up with the idea, Aaron Travels or whatever. But let's build something here. Let's build a social media presence. Let's make it inspirational. Let's make it crazy. Let's blow up the internet, and let's inspire the goddamn world, because it's about time, Aaron. You've been trying to do this your whole life. Now just think. And it was like that lockdown, that stuff. It forced me to do it. So with that, I bought a tent, €25. I bought a bike. And I was like, what's the crazy, well, before I purchased this stuff, what is the crazy thing I can do? I was like, I'm going to try and cycle to the furthest point in Europe. No training, none of this, nothing at all. I'm going to try and cycle to the furthest point in Europe. Where's the furthest point in Europe? Greece. Okay, let's do it. Bought the tent, bought the bike. Within about a week, I quit my job, and a week later, I was gone. Trying to cycle through 16 countries. Not much of a route planned out, just a general idea. Google Maps each day. Okay, I'll swing by this country, then this city. Okay, 10 days away. Okay, let's go. Bit by bit, tipping away at it. I put it on my Instagram. Lads, what's the story? I'm going to try and cycle to Greece. I'm on a ferry over to the UK right now. I could come home next week. I don't know what I'm made of, but I'm going to give it a go because I want to do it. I want to try it. Yeah. So let's see what happens. Let's see how far I make it. And that kicked off the adventure, which I did make it after 3 months and about 4,000 kilometers.
So the lockdown was kind of what instigated you to just start exploring.
Yeah, just let's go. Life is short, man.
Because how old are you now? Are you
25?
25, man. Yeah, so middle of the 20s. Making something of yourself, man. I just think it's so impressive. And what's even more impressive, man, is that you've done it by yourself. Do you like doing things alone?
And who the hell is going to come with me?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Who's going to come? You know what I mean? Look, I've over the years, I've done my bits of traveling, and I've done a lot of things on my own because life is too short to wait for people. Yeah. People always have excuses, and they're just not you, and that's fair enough. They're doing their thing, but if you want to do yours, you better do it, because it's even sadder for you to want to do something and you not do it because they don't want to do it. If they don't want to do it, they're okay, fine, let them miss out. They must be happier doing what they're doing. But for you to try and sit and wait, no. You really just go and do it. Just try what it's like. Exactly. And people are scared to be alone. Because it reflects everything, all their issues. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. They go, man, on my second day of the cycle to Greece, second day, this was my first night alone. I actually met some bloke on a ferry who was actually going cycling Wales and camping. But besides that, I sat on the beach, man. I was looking across at Ireland from Wales, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm pretty lonely. I don't know what's going on here. How am I going to do this for the next couple of months? How? Because you just realize, you're like, damn, I'm not really that good at being on my own. You know what I mean?
This is when you learn to just be by yourself.
It was just a realization, people are shy away from themselves, but because the world is so full of distractions, you're either distracted with your friends, your family, or you're distracted with your phone. It's one or the other, the way I see it. Yeah. So, and people know it's very depressing to spend too much time on the phone. So if you take the friends element out of it and all they've got is the phone left, that's not a nice path to go down. But if you can throw that away and leave away your friends for a bit as well and just be by yourself, then it's like a true reflection of yourself. Then you go, wow, I've got a lot of things to sort out in my life.
100%, man. Yeah.
Away from that with the distractions so they don't do it. So it's better just to live in a world where it's full of company, full of people, blah, blah, blah.
It does build up, though, man, if you're always living in that world of distraction and you never give your chance to just sit by yourself and really understand who you are. Because I think that's, you said it there as well. When you're alone by yourself, man, it really does give you time to reflect on the person that you are. And it also gives you time to reflect and know who you are and what you value in life and what you believe in, you know what I mean? Because we're all running around. We're in this mad world, man, where there's just, like you said, there's too much distraction. If you're not distracted by the people you're with, you're distracted by the biggest distraction of them all, which is the phone, you know what I mean? You need to give your head and your mind a bit of space to really conceptualize and just break things down and formulate and just understand who you are. Because I think what I like about you, man, what I feel off you straight away is you have a real connection to who you are. And I believe the most important relationship that we'll have in life is the one that we have with ourselves. And that can only happen when we're really just alone with ourselves. Solitude.
I must say, when I was doing it, even to get me to the point to be able to do that cycle, I had spent enough time, let's say, alone as well. Trust me, I love to be with friends. I love to be with people.
Yeah, of course.
I would say I'm an ambivert. I like my time with people. I'm charged by that, but I also like a little time on my own to get myself together, get my head straight. Yeah. And I must say I have in the past, before then, spent enough time in my room, perhaps reflecting, looking at myself, analysing myself, understanding my mind before I was even able to do that. You know what I mean? I think if my mind had been too chaotic or too crazy, it wouldn't have been something that I would have been able to do.
So you had to be in the right frame of mind to approach this challenge?
I think so. I was and I wasn't. But
same time of trying to find yourself, you were somewhat set up. That's the way it came across. Is that what you're trying to? Yeah.
Well, you know, at the same time, my mind kind of was kind of crazy, but I had to just experience even just times in my room, just sitting alone and kind of doing some type of reflection. I think people couldn't even fathom being that alone if they've spent their whole life where they haven't even just sat in the room with the lights on and a piece of paper and a pen, or just themselves, and looked at the four walls. But I did think it was a bite the bullet moment. It was a gotta go, and I think that's what I do with a lot of things in life, especially that one. I did not give myself time to think to do that challenge. I was like, I need to go before I think about it. Because if I think about it, where are you going to sleep? Where are you going to stay? How are you going to survive? What are you going to eat? You know, you're not going to die. That's the thing. The mind always thinks the worst. Just go and do it, okay? If it doesn't work, if you're scared, if you can't do it, come home. Yeah. There's nobody telling you can't come home. So just go, see how you fend for yourself, go out and survive. And don't like it, come home. So I was like, right, I just got to go before my mind starts telling me a lot of crap that is going to make me back away from it.
Yeah. So with this challenge, with cycling the Wild Atlantic Way, did you give yourself all that much time to think about it? Or
No.
You just, like how soon after you thought about it, you went and done it?
Okay, so I've had that idea where I wanted to do the country for a while, but it's just an idea. Yeah. It really take no plan. It's like, okay, how do I get to Donegal? Okay, you can get a train as far as Derry, and you can cycle from Derry to Donegal, and it's got road signs the whole way. All right, what do we need? Tent, bit of clothes, pots and pans to cook, travel on the bike. Let's go.
I love how minimalistic it is, man. But you're very simple minded when it comes to it. When I do, it's very admirable, because all you done was we had beans to eat, you had a bit of rice, and then you got a tent that was only €25, and you're literally surviving off that. Did it surprise you the amount of goodwill that you've seen from the journey that you've taken?
From the people?
From people reaching out to you, yeah. Like, there are a lot of, just going through obviously your Instagram and your TikTok, a lot of people reached out to help you, really enjoyed what you brought a lot of joy to people's lives with the journey that you took on. It's like people, they want to be entertained, and they want to see someone that's on a journey. And that's what you kind of gave them. You were documenting very well, man, the journey that you were on. But did it surprise you, the amount of people that reached out, and it seemed like a lot of goodwill, man. People housing you for the night, people giving you food and everything else. Did that surprise you?
Did it surprise me?
The amount of it?
Yeah, man. I mean, it was nice to see. I mean, it's like, can you believe it? Can you not believe it? I don't know. I know deep down everyone are great people, you know what I mean? And yeah, all I can say, it was a fantastic thing to see. I think it was surprising for people, but I know that there's so much good out there in the world. It's just like, you know what I mean? I know it's there, and it was brought out. So I just say it was beautiful to see.
Yeah, beautiful witness, man. But it's almost like you're putting that goodness into the world. It's like almost the karmic effect that it's coming back towards you. You know what I mean? People, because I don't know, man, like we were talking just before you got started, you've inspired a lot of people. This whole journey that you've been on is a massive inspiration. You know what I mean? People reaching out to you, never been on a hike before, never been, or maybe not feeling great getting up out of bed, because they're seeing what you're doing on a continuous basis. And I just think, it's credit to you, man. It really is, because the goodness that you put out into the world is something that you definitely will receive back. And I think it's been shown tenfold with just even the following that you've, like, how drastic was the following? In a sense, like, a lot of people wanted to see the journey at the beginning. How much did that grow as well? Did that grow a lot
from the Ireland cycle?
From the Irish cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
Massively so.
Yeah, I think it was close to home for people. It was their own country, you know, and it's just
one of their own as well.
Started the trend, you know. Yeah. I was very happy. I could see it coming. It was a goal I worked towards. Since I started the Cycle to Greece, I had the goal, look, we're going to build Aaron Travels. We're going to make it a platform where we can inspire people, you know what I mean? I'm about challenging myself. I become the person I am today through challenge, through improving my mindset, putting myself in uncomfortable situations and finding the comfort in it, because I wasn't always so at peace with just, let's just, you know, backflip naked into the woods and hope we come out alive and okay, you know. I'd be like very, very like, it has to go this way, it has to go that way, it has to go that way, or I'm not happy, you know. I was like that a couple of years back, like, and I said, you know what, I'm not happy doing this, I need to change. So let's do the stuff that I really don't want to do and laugh about it. Let's change my perspective about it. And then I keep putting myself in them situations, and now I'm just laughing wherever I go. Like, everything is good. Like, you're not going to stress me out if I miss this flight, or this doesn't work out, or you lose this, or that happens. Doesn't matter. I've been through it before, and it gets sorted at all times. You know what I mean?
I think that's an essential ingredient for life, man, is hardship. It's because obviously we're living in such a world now where everything comes at us so easy that we actually find life itself difficult. But it's when you expose yourself, like along that journey, man, cycling continuously. I'm sure your legs were giving up on you at one stage, you know what I mean? and then the mind has to overcome the body and push you forward and just keep things motoring along. But it's so true, and you did speak about it quite a bit along the journey as well, is that you need to expose yourself to some sort of difficulty in life, or life itself will just feel too difficult. What was one of the most difficult elements of the whole 52 days? Was there one thing in particular that sticks out that you felt was quite difficult?
I mean, the weather, honestly, man.
The wind, was it?
Yeah. The wind, yeah. I mean, just getting wet all the time. But then what brought me through it again was the purpose. It's like, Aaron, why are you here? You're here for a challenge, so stop crying. You know what I mean? When I went out and everything was sweet in the summertime and it was all right, and you had a few nights where you don't get the best of sleep, it's like, fine, that's fair enough. It is what it is. It wasn't too bad. But when it started to lash rain on me every single day for like a month and a half almost, you know, a couple of days in, I'm getting mad, I'm upset, I'm like, oh. But it is what it is, because you're not going anywhere. You can't do anything about it, so stop complaining about it. Just keep going. And yeah, it was just like, at that moment, I was like, hey, remember, you wanted a challenge. It hasn't been that challenging so far. I mean, because honestly, like, you know, people say, okay, that's challenging, but I did my stint 2 years ago. There's 16 countries. That was a challenge. I ain't never camped for longer than a weekend at Electric Picnic. I'd never camped or cycled further than to the shops and back. So that was the challenge. That was a lot of growth. This one, I was like, I know I can do it. I know it's like, it's a bit of a physical challenge, but like mentally, I was kind of there. I was like, I want to see my beautiful country, and I want to show all the crazy people out there that this is possible. So, but when it started to rain, my worst enemy, I was like, oh, like, damn. But ultimately, then I remembered. I was like, oh, you wanted a challenge, didn't you? Well, now you're getting what you asked for. And then I was like, oh, yeah. So it was like a second wind. It was like, oh, okay, now the journey actually starts. Now I'm actually getting what I want. You're just actually finding purpose in if you find purpose in the hardship, well, then that's your reason to go on, not to quit. So that's what kickstarted again for me.
Interesting, man.
So you can't beat me if my purpose is always based in the challenge.
So you kept coming back to that purpose. Did you have a mantra of any sort, or was it just that this is the challenge that
I ain't quitting, so it doesn't matter. It's like, you
can't fail if you never quit, man. You can't fail if you never quit, and it's so true.
I wasn't going to stop. So the rain can keep trying to get rid of me, but it's not going to work. So that's the thing. You find your purpose in the challenge. Life is full of challenges, so therefore, how are you going to lose if that's your reason to keep going?
And that's an important what you have to have in life, man, is some sort of challenge. Something that pushes you, something that like really tests your mentality. But it's great, man, because you've actually done it previously, so you've got that experience to back up what you've already done. So you just got through, you marched on. A fair play, man. 52 days later, you had it complete. You touched on the beautiful country that we're living in, and I suppose even for myself, man, I haven't witnessed a lot of it as well, and you really did put, just for me, Ireland on the map. I mean, the Wild Atlantic Way is something I'd never seen before. Is there one place in particular? I know you started with the top of Donegal and finished down. Was it Cork? Kerry?
Cork.
You finished down in Cork. Is there one place in particular that kind of just stands out in terms of the beauty of Ireland? Is there anything in particular?
Ireland's so cool because its landscapes are just, it's like ever changing. Everything is almost different around every corner, every county, So, one that I resonate with was the Silver Strand of Donegal, very beautiful beach, just because, it was the start of the journey. And it was like, wow, what a surprise. And I think what was even better was I worked for that, because I know someone who cycled some of the Wild Atlantic Way, and there's a part on it, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Glengesh Pass. Could be wrong, not good with names, wasn't looking at a map, but it's in Donegal, and basically you have to go through these insane these insane steep hills to get essentially on the way to Silver Strand. You could go around, but it would take a very long time, so a lot of people actually skip that. They skip that mountain pass and they go a different way, and they never even end up at Silver Strand. I was actually going to skip that, but then after that, just day of graft, of sweating. It was like over 20 degrees that day. Like, it was an incredible day. I'm going up a hill and all the cars beep and clapping as I'm going.
Oh man, what a feeling.
And then to finish off and get to that Silver Strand, one of the most beautiful beaches ever. Just you're on top of like these cliffs and looking down like a horseshoe shaped beach, and to wake up to it, that resonated with me. That was beautiful, along with all the other beautiful places.
Man, you've seen it a lot. You've seen a lot.
I've seen it all. I'm the ambassador for Ireland. Tourism Ireland. What's going on? I know every path. I know every route. I know every beach. I've done it all, head to toe. So
You could definitely become a tour guide of sorts, definitely so. You slept in many different places, man. And one of the interesting ones that kind of sticks out in my mind was, I think, was it a watchtower, a World War II watchtower? Man, you slept in some crazy places and seen a lot. What is the one thing actually that I want to touch on is your interest in going into caves, the curiosity to go in and see what's going on there. And I think in one of the posts you spoke about fear, how fear can come over you and how it can kind of hold you back, or you can go forth into, and I suppose if you're going forth into fear, that's a sign of courage. What possessed you to seek out or to just even explore caves in general? Because I didn't realise there were so many of them around.
the mines.
Mines, not caves, yeah. What kind of pushed you or what intrigued you to go in and just...
I'm inside the mines.
Yeah.
Just feeling like a pussy if I don't. You know what I mean? I couldn't let myself see something that's scary and then not do it, kind of a thing. If it makes sense. I mean, I remember I was in Wales one time and there was mines 2 years ago, and I kind of stuck my head in. I walked in a little bit and I chickened out. But even going in was creepy as hell. Like, it was real creepy this time in Wales, and I was like, this is real creepy. All right, that's my limit, and I walked away. But walking away, I was kind of like, damn, you know, it would have been good to walk in. I also know it's good content. There's always like I'm making content. So, and I'm out here to grow stronger, become fearless, and be the best. So it's like a win-win. It's like, I will push myself and have personal growth. And then there's also the ticket to, hey, I got a video out of it. People get to see it, and you get, it works for the world too. Everyone wants to see it. Yeah. So it's like, there's also that reward, because the personal growth reward, we don't always like, it's not tangible always, you know what I mean? Whereas the video is. Yeah. So it's that reward too. So anyways, that was the situation in Wales. I got back and I heard there's these mines up in the mountains in Sligo, which tons of people from Sligo don't even know about. I'm on Google Maps, I'm flicking around, what the hell is that? Oh, mines up in the middle of the mountains. It took me a couple of hours to get there because I went completely the wrong way. But anyways, I got there wasn't a breeze out there was no signal, no reception, nothing. I'm looking around for ages, and then I find this like hole in the side of a wall. There they are. I walked up, I was like, oh, this is not nice. I don't like this. It's spooky. Anyways, we have to go in. You know, we're going to make a good video. You shied away 2 years ago. This time you're more of a man. You're going inside there, you know what I mean? And once you go inside there again, you've done it, you're more of a man, you know? And the braver you become, the more you can achieve at all times. And I always say, like, you know, if you become fearless, if you are fearless, your potential will also be limitless. Because in this world, like this world of competition or even rising to the top, it's the man who has no fear. It's the one who will do the things that others won't, and therefore you'll get to the top. So everyone else stops. Their fears is what sets their limit. So they won't ask for this promotion because they're scared. Well, so the guy who isn't scared, he's going to ask for it. Or
he's going to push the boundaries.
It applies in every single way, yeah. Or I'm afraid to do that, or I'm afraid to do this public speaking event, or I'm afraid to do that, and they stop, and they have no more growth, and therefore the world doesn't reflect their growth. It's externally, the material world doesn't show them their worth. But if you just say, okay, I'm going to do this, and you're a yes man to absolutely everything, how can you be stopped? I don't think you can be stopped. So all the little minor things, be it your cold shower that you don't want to do in the morning, be it climbing into the mines, it just applies to turn me into the man who says, I can't be stopped. And then I can see my life as something, look, I'm going wherever the hell I want, because fear, although it comes at me, it challenges me, I run straight through it every time, and I realised that. So that got me into the mines, that made me make a good video. That whole time my heart was racing and I felt anxious, and it wasn't cool, but crawling out there at the end after being in there for a couple of minutes, I felt incredible. It was like, yes, you did it. You did it.
You overcome fear. Because like fear is like an obstacle that needs to be conquered. That's what it is. It's something that's set up in front of you. And then as soon as you overcome the fear that's in front of you, like you said, great examples there, man, speaking in front of people. Or even putting yourself out there, man. There's a fear because when you put yourself online, you're kind of exposing yourself, you're opening yourself up to criticism. You could say something that's quite out there, whatever. But people actually love you for it, because it's almost like fear does hold the majority of people back. But if you can break past that and just, you know, going into the mine where it's like, Jesus Christ, you know, you could fucking fall down, lose your life, man, you know what I mean? Getting into the cold water on a freezing day. The thing is, the personal growth, that's where it lies. And that's a great example you gave there, man. It's like, if you go forth into it, you're going to come out the other side of it. All right, it's going to be a bit of hardship. Once again, it's hardship, man. But that's where the challenge is. That's where the growth lies. And you have to keep on going forward into it. Think about the challenge of you cycling for the 52 days. Great challenge. The personal growth is massive.
52, it was like...
2,600 kilometers, man. Massive achievement, right? That's a lot of personal growth. Going into the cold water the first day of the new year out in Glendalough, massive growth again. You know what I mean? Just exposing yourself on a regular basis. And you're just... with that exposure, you're really living life, man. Because you're seeking out discomfort. You're seeking out, okay, I'm going to be anxious here. I'm going to be really fearful, but you're almost embracing it because you're like, okay, I'm going to make it, be a better person for it. And what I like as well is that you're documenting it and you're showing other people that it can be done. And when you do that, it gives a lot of other people inspiration. Massively so, man. You don't realize the amount of people you're being inspiring just by what you're doing alone. So, I keep complimenting you, man, but that's another great thing that you've achieved as well, is like step forth into fear, because that is where the growth lies. And you have to do it, man. You have to do it. You become a better person for it as well, which is just incredible. Was there any part of the journey that you're just... Did you ever get fed up at any stage? Was there ever where you just didn't do anymore? Yeah.
The entire last month.
Because of the weather conditions.
Yeah, so the cycle was going on for about 3 months. As I said, I'd probably done about 2 months of cycling, but as it came to the end, even the last couple of weeks, look, it rained for almost a month and a half, or at least a month, it was constant. And I wanted to do it because what I'd achieve, I'd get the content, I'd get the achievement of doing it, of course. I know it's going to get done. Yeah. But you really I'm like, why am I doing this? You have your whys, as I said, but you're like, nothing looks that pretty anymore. It's grey, it's dismal, it's raining. It's like, it's just not nice. Why am I doing this? Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, times like that, why the hell am I doing it? I know why, because I'm not stopping just because it's got difficult. But it's also like there wasn't even too much fun in it anymore. No. It was a satisfaction of accomplishment of every single day, knowing I'm not going to quit. Yeah. It's like kind of when you knew you could make it anyways. But it was nice just to be tested and just go, you did experience some good hardship at the end.
There you go, man.
I've seen some good days and I've seen some hard days, so I got to see it all. So,
but that's what life's about as well, isn't it? It's like you have to take the good with the bad. You're not always going to be in a state of, happiness and this willingness. Like, motivation fluctuates as well, man. But it's like what you've kind of demonstrated is just being disciplined every day, just showing up. Has to be done. Is there anything you learned about your kind of mindset on the journey? Was there anything that stands out over the course of the journey? Is there something that clicked in your mind or maybe changed, or is there anything in particular that kind of stands out to you now when you reflect back on it? Did your mindset change in any way, would you say?
That's a good question. I mean, it's funny. I don't think so. Just because of my life experience so far. And trust me, there's always growth. There's always something to build on. Yeah. As I said, though, I've done a big cycle like this before, and I feel like I experienced a ton of and then I didn't know what I was made of. Back then I didn't know what I was made of, and I found out. I found out what I was made of, and this time was like, I know what I was made of, but now let's just show that I am, let's see, let it
come true.
Yeah, it was kind of exactly. It was like doing it. It was doing it and it was showing me, oh yeah, that's what you are made of. You can do that. Remember, you can do it. You know what I mean? So it's like a reaffirming to yourself.
Very important thing to do, man.
Yeah, of course, tons of things. And also saying, hold on, I set goals and I can do them. Can you imagine what that's doing for your mind? Can you imagine for when I say I'm going to make Aaron Travels work? I'm going to make Aaron Travels work this time 2.5 years ago. And I set out to cycle Greece. I thought I'd blow up the internet. I made tons of YouTube vlogs. I thought they would blow up the internet because I see other vloggers vlogging in the same style, raw style, picking up the camera and talking to it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do what they do, except I'm going to go hardcore. I'm going to cycle to Greece and go in a tent. This is going to blow up the internet. And it didn't. I came back with maybe 1,000 followers on Instagram after the Greece cycle. I didn't even know about TikTok back then. Look, I wasn't educated. I didn't do the research. I didn't understand social media. I hadn't got good cameras. I hadn't got good quality. That was my fault. I was naive. I just thought it would work. So I went out, I set out and I did it. And I came back and there was very little reward besides the immeasurable personal growth reward, which was great. And of course, no regrets. But getting home was like, then I heard about TikTok a while later. I'm spending months just taking it slow, editing my YouTubes. Still not so serious about Aaron Travels. serious because I set off and did all this stuff, but then you kind of lose the motivation a bit. But tipping away, then I hear about TikTok, then I start editing. I spent hours a day, man, like hours making little TikTok clips. I've taken them down since or hidden them from my page, but like I spent hours just making clips, and then you get to a couple of hundred views. And I just remember it was essentially this time last year, a little longer. You know, this time last year, the cycle had been done over a year ago. I was sat in my room, man, editing, and getting very little views, blah, 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 but just saying to myself, like, this has to work. I'm not accepting anything else. So I will sit in my room for hours and edit and edit and edit, because you have no other choice than universe, than for you to work for me, because I'm not going away. So kept at it, kept going, and then this Ireland cycle coming around and just being like, right, we're going to do it again. Here we go. I understand social media more. I understand how to make the videos better. I invested in all the technology. And I kind of knew this was going to be the one. And then to go and do it, and now to where I'm at, TikTok, 60,000 followers, Instagram, 125,000 followers, and seeing that pay off. When you ask, you know, what, like, how does it feel for you? What do you learn? Well, what do I learn? I learn I can achieve anything if I don't quit. And that, of course, that's what I learned. Look at what I've achieved. Look at the results and think what that's done for my mind. Yeah. What else can I do? You know, so it's like it's...
You've done the reps, man. That's what it is. You built a foundation. When you cycled to Greece and it didn't work out in terms of the amount of followers that you expected that would come true. You know what I mean? I suppose it's like anything in life, man. When you have expectations, they always can fall down because you think it's going to go a certain way, and it didn't. But you built your foundation there, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're learning about, which is massive nowadays, is content creation and everything that goes with it. You're doing the reps over and over again and saying to yourself, I'm not giving up on this. It's going to happen. And look at you now. Like, you're walking proof of that, man. It's like, don't pack it in when you're getting 100 views, because there is nothing more disheartening than that, though, isn't it? That feeling of you're putting yourself out there, you think you're making good content, it gets 100 views. You're like, fuck, man, you go crazy, don't you? You really go mad. But you just stay persistent with it, because it's just rep after rep after rep. You just keep on repping it out. One day, it's that one video breaks through. The second video breaks through. The third video breaks through. And look at you, man. Look at the progress from the beginning. Because it seems like this cycle that you've done here, man, is the one that really just broke the seal. It just, that's all you needed. Which is now put you, man, look at you now, man. You're on a pedestal of an abundance of followers, you know what I mean? Which is great, because you got influence over people now as well, and influence them in the right way, you know what I mean? Which is just, it's a positive, really positive trait that you have. Going forward now, 2023, what's the ambition, goal? Is there anything in particular you hope to achieve, or where do you want to bring yourself? What's the next challenge? Because you're obviously a man now that's seeking challenges. You don't stop. As soon as you complete one, it's like, what's the next one going to be?
The next one, I mean, the mission this year, and always the mission for Aaron Travels, has been that inspirational and the motivation. So, I mean, I did my big Ireland trip, great way to see the country, but I could have done it in a car, and I didn't have to camp. But I did it as well because, as I say, like, let's build the platform, give the people what they want to see. Yeah. I know I can camp, I know I can cycle. Of course, it's going to be a challenge, and it was. Give them what they want to see. That's why I did that. Now, this year, it's like, I haven't got something crazy in mind. It's like people, cycle the world. I'm like, I don't have to. It's like the personal growth. It's like, I'm not that crazy about it right now. The people might want to see it, but I don't have to. It's like, but what I do want to do is give people an insight into my life, and that be in terms of the positive things that I do in my life. I'm on a journey like everyone else. I'm not perfect like everyone else, but one thing I try to do is just be better. You know what I mean? And that's all that counts. Everyone has their flaws. Everyone has issues. Everyone has things that they can be better on. Yeah. Can't talk trash about anyone who's just trying to be better. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do, but I understand that it's very important, for me, to show the world. If you do a positive act, if you do something good, show people. I don't care. I don't like jogging, but this year I'm going to be jogging. And I'm going to pick up the camera and I'm going to show people I'm jogging. Yeah. And why it's good is because when you're in a car and you're passing by and you see someone jogging, you're like, yeah, let's go. You might jog, or you might do it sometimes. So you're like, I'm going to go on a jog later. Yeah. Well, the reason and you see a lot of people, they're jogging. They're not recording themselves jogging. You know what I mean? Unless they're these big kind of whatever influencers that people are interested in, they're not going to see them jogging. But my idea is I'm going to pick up the camera and you're going to see me jogging because I'm just a normal bloke just like you. And when you're sat at home on your couch and you see he's out jogging, it's like, okay, now I want to.
Out there attacking.
And that's the thing. I know a lot of blokes who are out there jogging, there's a lot of people who do cold swims. Fair play to you. The ultimate respect. They haven't got it on camera though. So besides the passers-by who see it, they're the only ones being inspired. I'm going to inspire you from the couch. When you're sitting scrolling, you might second guess, all right, now it's time not to jog, not to jump in the cold water, but maybe to clean your room. Maybe to do a couple push-ups, maybe to get that gym membership. So I just understand that my journey I always see is for constant development and growth, and I want to bring the world along with me because I think the world will be a better place as long as we are doing positive things. Yeah. So that's what 2023 is about. Keep building my mind, a big focus on building my body, becoming as healthy as I can be, doing my best and showing the world, hey, look at this. And I know we're going to change some people's lives along the way, and just keep doing that. But in between, crazy adventures, don't worry about that. They will come, and they come just in an instant, just like that overnight. I'm like, right, we're going to climb these many mountains in this couple of days. We're going to cycle here to here. You know what I mean?
You're a man that can't be stopped.
It makes me feel alive. Yeah. So
a lot of self-belief as well, which is a very key component in suppose confidence. You know what I mean? The confidence in yourself, because you've done this. You've literally, the list of accomplishments you have already is it goes to show, man. So it'd be impressive to see how the physique looks at the end of 2023.
And I question, as I said, I've went to the gym over the years. I've only ever done a couple of months, and I've had to travel. Yeah. I've had to cycle and eat beans and eggs every day. Yeah. But there was no excuse to not wake up and do 500 push-ups. Yeah. So this year is actually an ultimate test, because you might say, oh, I'll go to the gym for a year. That could be easy. But with my kind of lifestyle as well, I would say it's not, but then again, that's an excuse. If you want to go travel Southeast Asia and vlog the whole time, you can find a gym at some point. You can wake up and do 500 push-ups wherever you are. Yeah. So that is a test, and it's one that scares me. Yeah. Because it's like saying you got to do something, and can you do it? I don't know, but isn't that what we're here to find out? Is what we're made of, and just prove it to ourselves. And that's where you get the confidence from, because you're proving to yourself that you can do it, and then you start to believe in yourself, because anything that you think, you realize that you can become. Yeah. And you're proving that to yourself.
Yeah, you're dead right, man. It's all about what you've done before, because look, I honestly believe that's where confidence grows from, is when you've experienced whatever you experienced here. You're always like casting votes for the person that you want to become, and if you keep on casting votes and keep on showing up for yourself, well, then your confidence is going to grow and everything else from it. Tell me, after you'd finished the trip, did you take a trip to the Sahara Desert, or was that from something previously?
Yeah, we had. Yeah.
You went. What was that like? Out there, were you out there for long?
I don't know.
A little reward for what you had accomplished.
It was more like talking to a friend who I haven't seen in a few years. He was like, how you been? He's replying to my story or whatever. He goes, I'm going to Morocco next week, kind of a thing. I was like, yeah, that would be nice. So, yeah, we just take a flight out there and
enjoyed yourself.
It was nice. Yeah.
Did you feel like your life has changed a lot since this whole doing the Atlantic Way cycle? Do you feel like many things have changed, or has anything changed? You're a very genuine, down to earth guy, but it has.
That's a great question. Well, in a way, of course. I mean, in terms of the social media presence,
What's that like, man? What eyes on you? Because people obviously know who you are now. I mean, you're in the Independent. You got in a few papers. There's a lot of publicity that goes with it, with just even putting yourself out there. Is your world different now in terms of people? Is there a bit of notoriety? Are people noticing who you are?
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, everywhere I go, like multiple times a day, people are coming up to me, which obviously that's a big change. But even on the cycle, early days from the cycle, people were recognizing me, a lot of people every day. But now it's basically wherever I go, I'm meeting people, which is cool, because people have nothing but positive things to say, and I love to meet these people, and people who are saying it to me, people who are watching, people who are following me. In some way, even though our lives are totally different, we both kind of appreciate something deep down, and it's whatever kind of thing I guess I'm showing off on my page, they appreciate just as I do. That's why they're following. So we kind of all have some kind of similar interests. But yeah, things have changed, of course, with my social media presence. I mean, my network and people I get to talk to. You know, there's a lot of people who are watching. Like, you know what I mean. I can kind of connect with anyone, which is great. People I've admired, people I've watched on social media, I thought were cool. We can have a chat. There's also a lot of different ways now to make money and whatever. So all of them have changed, but you know, deep down, I find like, you know, you're looking at, when I look at the numbers in terms of my following now versus the numbers back then, and then I look, you know, try and think of the person, you know, who I am. The numbers don't change you. You know, the numbers don't change you. Well, I'll speak for myself. The numbers don't change me. Any growth that I've done on myself, any work I've put into myself is what's changed me along the way, you know. Your situations change, your options change, you know. You might have more success with money or with women, whatever. But deep down, if you're not that guy inside, you're gonna crumble. You're gonna crumble. So it has to be a positive balance, you know. If there's bad people out there with a high following, whatever, they're a bad person, a weak person before they started, you know. You've got to have that balance.
Well, you've humbled, man. What I like as well about what you do, you humble yourself a lot. Like a massive cycle, that's a massive challenge. The hardship from that will humble you. Getting in the cold water is another great way to be humbled. You know, I just think you seem very genuine, which you are. You come across very genuine. You're up to nearly 100, approaching 125,000 followers. It doesn't seem, you don't walk in here with, like, you're a very normal going guy, you know what I mean? Which is a credit to you. You're not letting it get to your head. You're not letting your ego get out of whack as well, which is just good quality traits to have. You're staying ground, you're staying humble. How did you get into the cold water? Because you're a big fan of the cold water, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Massive fan.
Well, I mean, massive fan. I mean, I absolutely hate it. I'm a massive fan of doing what I don't like to do because I know it's beneficial.
Yeah. So how did that come about? Did you're always hopping in lakes and everything else? Is just you into the cold showers? You do cold showers as well?
You know, that's a good question. You know, it's kind of been a trending thing for a while, hasn't it? The cold water therapy and whatever. I'm trying to think, when did I really get into it? I mean, it probably would have been just over a year and a half ago. I moved to a valley in Wales in the mountains, and we lived in a tent for a couple of months, a bit of a community, and there was no water. So I washed every day in a river, like in a stream, for 3 months.
So there's a community of you over there.
Yeah. So for 3 months, my only shower was this river. So that was a cold shower every day.
So you just build it up, yeah.
No choice. You want to have a wash, you're getting in the cold. Sunny day, beautiful. Cold day, not so beautiful. A lot of people maybe aren't showering on that day. If I want to jump in, I jump in. Nice. You feel brand new after. When I came home after that, I was like, well, you've done it for 3 months now. You're going to keep doing it. So you're hopping in the cold shower now at home. Mains goes on the coldest one. You're showering every single day. It's a daily accomplishment. It's a daily achievement. I don't like it.
Massive, man. And you do it first thing in the day as well. It's such a great achievement because you're proving to yourself that you can do something hard at the beginning of the day. And like you said, you're walking around euphoric because everything's rushed to your body. The cold water, well, something crossed my mind there. I was going to ask you about the cold water. I was going to talk about your health, man, because at the moment, obviously, we're just at the beginning of January, kind of in the middle of winter. A lot of people are dying with colds and everything else, but you are extremely healthy for everything you had to endure in terms of the cycle. And now, do you put that down to getting in the cold water? Are you quite health conscious, or?
I can't put it down to what it is. You know what I mean? I could even almost put it down as much to mindset. You know, I always tell myself I'm healthy. I think I'm good. You know, of course I don't always eat the cleanest. Of course, I still go out. We can have drinks and party and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, but
that's a good point, man. Mindset. Yeah, that's a very good point. If you keep telling yourself that you're healthy and like believing in it to a certain extent, you know, it's almost like you're feeding yourself with positivity constantly.
Tell people I never get sick, and then because I do, it kind of creates this like vacuum in my mind where it's like, wait, do I ever get sick? I'm almost believing my own crap. I mean, I probably do every now and again, but basically never. Like my family all had the cold or whatever there the other week, right? They all had the cold, all of them, and I got what I'd say is a cold. I wouldn't really call it a cold. I basically, my throat was a little bit sore for like a night. I had like a blocked nose for like the next day, and that was it. That was supposed to be a cold. People always comment on my videos someone said something which was quite hilarious. They were like, "We need to bottle up whatever's in your immune system for the next virus." when they see me hopping in the cold water, because tons of my videos, it was November, it was lashing rain, it was freezing, and I was in a t-shirt that was absolutely sopping wet, just wearing it, cycling through the rain.
That is so important, man. How like we cover ourselves up, especially in winter, man. We're like 50 layers. You know what I mean? You need exposure. Dude, like you just have to be in a natural environment. I think the more you're in nature, the healthier you're going to be.
Absolutely. At the same time, don't get me wrong. I mean, you go out there and wear some wet clothes all day. Some people might die. Like we all have to also understand. It's just building up a tolerance. You know what I mean? I spent a lot of time outside. Like I said, I was showering in a river for 3 months. You build up a tolerance. You build stronger. People are like, are you not always sick? It's like, how many times can you get sick? Your immune system's going to fight the sickness, and then you get stronger. Then the next little sickness comes along, your immune system doesn't even notice it.
Even your immune system, man, it needs hardship. It needs some sort of challenge that it literally just keeps on
building it. Yeah. So people ask, and do you not always get sick on the journey? I got a cold once when I was doing it. I got a bit stuffy. I got a bit of a sore throat, blah, blah, blah. I was still sleeping in a sleeping bag with a hat on and a jacket during a cold. I still get up and go. And then this cold comes around, my family's got it, and I barely even feel nothing. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even call them colds. One girl who I was spending time with as well, she said, like, I got tonsillitis, so I'm sure you're going to get it. I was like, I'm not going to get that. I didn't get it.
So, man, you're an animal, Aaron. That's what it is, bro. You're a fucking animal, and I love it. Listen, we're approaching. Jesus, we're coming up to an hour anyway. So, is there anything from the journey that kind of sticks out in your own mind that you would like to talk about? Is there any kind of point that maybe I haven't touched on just yet in terms of the whole journey, in terms of the 52 days that you've done? Is there something that sticks out in your own mind? Or would there be anything?
Unless you have a specific question, I can't really say so. I mean, we got to have a good conversation. Yeah. We hopefully inspire more people with this conversation. Yeah. And all I can say is I'm on the podcast, and I guess I was kind of speaking about myself, but trying to help the world with the things that I say about myself. And it is, look, 2023, let's go. I hope everyone listening has an absolute good one. I hope they have a smashing one. I hope they do their best. I'm going to be doing my best out there with you. James is probably going to be doing his best. I trust that he will too. And
keep on marching on.
Keep on marching on. 2023, it's going to be a good one. And it's only going to be a good one if you make it a good one. Your dreams don't work unless you do. And I'm going to be working on them dreams. And you're going to see it with me. So let's go.
Aaron, it's been an absolute pleasure, bro. Fair play for what you've done. Like I said, you've inspired many people and motivated many more as well. So, listen, it's a pleasure. If people are looking to find where you are, where do they look?
Aaron Travels, Aaron Travels, Travels 369 on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. YouTube, Aaron Travels, over 50 vlogs, camping and cycling and lots more crazy events.
Happy days. Listen, everyone that's listened or watched, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you on the next one. All the best. Thanks, bro.